We're here with Johannes Jütting, the OECD Development Center. Johannes, tell me, is measuring progress relevant for developing countries, and why?
Yes, absolutely. Measuring progress is of crucial importance for developing countries. We have in the last 10-15 years, we basically focused on measuring basic needs, like expressed in the Millennium Development Goals. But it's of extreme importance to go beyond measuring achievements in education, and achievements in health, achievements in poverty reduction. It is of crucial importance to look beyond things that we can tangibly measure, also in developing countries. Issues like life satisfaction, issues like sense of belonging, issues like sustainability are of critical importance in developing countries as well.
What are some of the drawbacks of existing measures of development?
Some of the drawbacks are that they are basically focusing on things that we can actually measure, that we can quantify. And in particular in developing countries, there are things that are of crucial importance for the well-being of people that we can't necessarily measure. Let me give an example. In many African societies, as we all know, the issue of material well-being is of crucial concern. Many people are still poor, are living in rural areas, do not have necessarily enough or have concerns about being fed well. There's the issue of going to schools, health concerns. This is all very important to measure, and to some extent we have good measures to do so. But on the other hand, we fail to measure things like sense of belonging, treating elderly people, sense of part being of a community. And here, in my view, many African societies do much better than we do in our societies, in the richer ones. Let me take the example of treating elderly people. Often in our societies, people at the age of 80 are in elderly homes, while in many African societies they actually stay and they have an important role to play for their families. But how can we measure this? This is a crucial question, and I think it's of utmost importance to go beyond those measures that we can quantify, but also try to capture some of the things what we might call subjective measures, and going beyond just the quantifiable measures.
And how is the rise of emerging economies in Asia and increased growth in the developing world affect our notion of progress and what we understand development to mean?
I think you raised a very important point. The shifting wealth. The Development Center of the OECD has actually worked on this, the concept, what you were saying, linked to the emergence of Asian countries. But not all in Asia, there are also a couple of other developing countries that have high growth rates. We can observe a shift of wealth from the west to the east, from north to the south. It's changed many things crucially, fundamentally, of what we have believed of in the past. And in particular also of the measurement and in terms of how we think about progress. The interesting phenomena is while these countries grow, and some of the countries actually are now middle income countries, still poverty and exclusion and inequality are pervasive. So how now we deal with these issues? Many people are moving out of basic material deprivation, but they have more aspirations. So they look forward to compare themselves with other people that have moved up fairly higher the agenda, higher. They were just getting more wealthy than maybe they have been done in the past. So there is a critical issue of aspirations and how we measure these aspirations and how we deal with them. So the critical issue of social cohesion in Asian countries, as we could see, for instance, in China with labor market disputes, as we could see in Thailand with the red shirts and struggling with the rural people and people in the Bangkok elite, these are of fundamental concern of fast-growing countries. And I think this reminds of the high-growth Asian countries, reminds of and puts in all of us, in front of us, a new agenda, how we deal with these new phenomena.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.